I hope you're ready, guys, because today I want to share with you the approach to setting goals that can literally transform your life. Once I learned about this approach, it completely changed the way how I think about goal setting and planning. And once I implemented it in my life, I started to see crazy results. Using this approach, I lost 10 kilograms of weight in 2 months. The same approach helped me to become fluent in English in 1 year. And then I used it again when I started a side hustle without any business experience and became a top-rated freelancer in 2 years. This approach is very flexible and can be implemented in any area of your life. Doesn't matter if it's money, learning, relationship, or self-improvement. This approach is called systems thinking, and today we will talk about how you can use it in order to achieve anything you want. By the way, if you're new here, then welcome to my channel. My name is Nikita, and I see life as a game, and on this channel we talk about how to play it. Now, without further ado, let's roll. Let me start this video with a little bit of my personal example. When people usually set a goal, and they have some sort of basic understanding of goal setting, they set a goal using a SMART method. So their goal is specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. And so when I decided to lose weight, I used the same approach. My goal was specific. I wanted to lose weight. Then it was measurable. I wanted to measure if I'm making progress to this goal or not using, number of kilograms on my scale. Then it was achievable. It was actually pretty possible to lose 10 kilograms because it's not like I had a very, very crazy small body fat percentage. Also, it was relevant for me because I didn't really like, having those cheeks and this belly that I had back then. And time bound because I gave myself 3 months in order to achieve this goal, and it was pretty much realistic. So I wrote it all down. And then when the time came actually to start doing something, I realized that there was no such action as to lose weight, because you cannot just lose weight. I mean, all you can do, you can start working out, start eating low-calorie food, and start moving more, right? So you will put yourself in a calorie deficit, and you will automatically just start losing weight. Like all of those actions combined will create a system that will lead you to the desired result. And the same thing will happen if you want to learn something. For instance, you decided to become a great chess player. There's no such thing as study chess. You can learn openings, tactics, solve puzzles, learn how other players play, analyze your own games, and play. You have to do all of this in a system in order to become a great player. But believe it or not, a lot of people do not understand that. And a lot of people just, when they set a goal, they think that they need to do this one thing that will give them desired results. So for instance, if we go back to losing weight example, some people might think, okay, in order to lose weight, I need to walk more. And maybe they will start walking 1 hour every day. However, they still eat this junk food that has a lot of calories and they do not lose any weight at all. I mean, in one hand, they're actually doing something. They started walking. They're doing something in order to get closer to their desired result. But at the same time, they're not actually making any progress. And then they give up because they think that it doesn't work. Another my personal example, freelance business. When I first decided to start a freelance business, suddenly I realized that there was no action such as start making $5,000 a month. Because business in its core, it's a system. It's a combination of things. Like your business starts from the audience. Your audience has some problems. And then you think about how you can solve those problems for the audience and you create an offer. Once you have an offer, you think about how you will be selling it, right? So you create a sales message. Then you create a sales message, you might create a sales video and you put it on a platform. People start seeing this message, they start writing you messages, and you need to know how to reply in order to close them for their order. And once they order, you need to know how to deliver a good service so they will be satisfied and order again. And if you want to achieve your goal, and your goal is complicated, you cannot think only about one component. You have to think about all of the components of the system and how they work together and what you will need to do in order to get to that goal. And look, the truth is that those components, they already exist. You just might not be aware of them. However, they're already there and they affect your end result. So for instance, you decided to start working out and build a great body. You know that you need to eat clean and you need to work out. However, you do not know that you need to get your body a proper break. Because once you train, you need to give some time for your muscles to recover. But you do not know that, and yes, you work out very hard and you eat clean, however, you work out every day and you might sleep only for, 6 hours. And because one crucial element of the system, rest, is missing, it's very hard for you to gain mass. But at the same time, you're still working out, you still eat clean, right? So you do some of the components of the system. However, just because one component is missing, it hurts all of your results. See, in order to achieve muscle growth, you need to implement a system. However, you're not aware of this one component, but this component already exists and it affects all of your results, no matter if you're aware of it or not. And that's why it's very important before you actually start taking action, you need to do an extensive research and find out what components your system has. And the better research you'll make, there is a better chance that you will not miss this crucial component that will affect your results. And once you know all of the components of the system, you will finally be ready to start taking action in order to get to that goal. And look, some actions you will need to do once, some actions you will need to do consistently. For instance, an example of a thing that you need to do only once: creating a sales message. You need to think about your sales message only once, right? You think about it, you write it, you make a sales video, you put it on your freelance platform, and you're done. But there are some actions that you need to do over and over and over again. Actions that you need to do consistently. So for instance, if we're talking about losing weight, you need to start walking, eat clean, and working out. If we're talking about creating content, you need to create content again and again and again and again. And that's where the next problem arises: consistency. People nowadays live so busy lives, they have so many things to care about, that they really struggle with consistency. And think about it, they're not really struggle with consistency only with one thing. They struggle with consistency in general. You know, that you start doing something and maybe after 2 weeks or maybe 3 months, life hits and you simply do not have time to keep doing it. Consistency in some way is a skill that you need to develop. And in order to be consistent, you really need to be strategic with it. Open your calendar and find time that you can allocate and reserve it. So at this time, you will be taking action. So for instance, how it works in my example. Right now, I'm working on building a good physique. What I did once is that I thought about the meal plan, things that I need to eat so I'll have all of my macro and micronutrients in place, and I created a meal plan that I actually can follow. It's the thing that I did once, and now it's ready. And there are systematic actions that I do almost every day. So for instance, when I wake up, I have healthy breakfast that consists of eggs and a salad. Then after that, after 2 hours, I drink a protein shake. After that, on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I work out with my coach. Then after that, I eat lunch. It's usually pasta, chicken breast, and a tomato. Then after work, I go for a walk for 1 hour, and I eat lunch. For lunch, I usually have a high protein salad. So it's like cottage cheese, vegetables, sour cream, and soy sauce. I have those actions planned in my calendar, and having them in my calendar actually helps me to stay consistent and do all of those things that are important for my system. Because yes, once you're just starting out being consistent, it will be complicated. But once you get used to it, the thing that you have on your calendar, just simply go and do it. You just have to be realistic with yourself and plan wisely, so you will definitely be sure that the actions that you take do not interfere with something else in your schedule. And you actually have an energy in order to do that task. Because in your calendar, you can plan anything you want. That's not a problem. The problem is that to have energy to do this task. But if you plan properly, this will not be a problem. All you need to do after that is just to go and do that. And once you start taking action, you will need to come up with a specific metric. The metric that you will use in order to make sure that you're actually getting closer to your goal. At my side hustle, this metric was the monthly income. When I was losing weight, this metric was kilograms at my scale. And when I was learning English, those metrics were the words that I learned and also the grammar rules that I practiced. And once you have this metric, you need to check it time to time in order to see if you're actually making progress towards your goal. And if you're not making progress towards your goal, or you're moving but very, very slowly, now it is time to improve your system. And for this, you'll need feedback. And that's the biggest difference when people are component thinkers and system thinkers. Because if a component thinker person, moves towards the goal and doesn't see any progress, the person is like, it doesn't work. He gives up. But if you're a systems thinker, you understand that something is wrong in your system. And what you need to do, you need to analyze your system and find out what's wrong and improve it. Again, we're going back to the example of losing weight, right? For instance, you decided to start walking and working out. You're doing those things. However, you're not actually losing any weight. You analyze your system and you see that instead of eating healthy food, you like to eat McDonald's, and that's why, no wonder why, you're struggling with losing weight. And the correction in a system that you need to make is not to work out more or do more cardio, right? But change your nutrition. Because if you change your nutrition, you will start eating less calories, you put yourself on a calorie deficit, and you will actually start moving closer to your goal. And the same thing will be in business. That you have to analyze all of the components of the system and find out what's actually missing, that you're not actually generating the income that you want. And look guys, the real beauty of this approach is that it works the same way in your life or in a billion-dollar business. For instance, like Coca-Cola, right? They have their sales department, marketing department, product department, logistic department, and all of this works together in a system. And if they want to set a goal, they still need to do the same thing. They need to analyze their system and think about what departments, what components of the system they need to improve. The only difference is that those systems are way more complicated and have way more details, but the core, the idea is still the same. That if you embrace this approach, you will start thinking in systems. you'll be able to use this approach in any area of your life. That you think about the goal that you want to achieve, you research and find necessary actions you need to take in order to get to that goal. You find the metric that you can use in order to see if you're actually getting closer to the goal or not. And if you're not getting closer or getting closer slowly, use the feedback and start upgrading components of the system so you will actually start moving faster. And once you defined a goal and started taking necessary action, one day, maybe in a month or 3 months or maybe a year, but there will be the day that you will achieve this goal, finally get to this next level, and your life will never be the same. And that's GG for today. If this video was useful to you, then hit the like and subscribe to my channel so you will not miss my new tutorials about how to become a better player in the game of life. By the way, if you like to set long-term goals but you struggle to achieve them, then I highly recommend for you to watch this video. And this is it for today. My name is Nikita. I'll see you at the top. Успехов!